Microcasting for your city, Talkapolis.
Bandwidth for today's show is brought to you by SoftLayer.com. We love SoftLayer here at Talkapolis. They are the greatest hosting company ever. They make everything easy. Check out their website at SoftLayer.com. Thanks again for sponsoring the show. Also by Nashville Violins, the string player's #1 choice for their string instrument needs. Nashville Violins offers everything from lessons to repairs. Make sure you check them out at NashvilleViolin.com.
All right, our guest here at Talkapolis this time on Voices of Experience is Bobby Bare Jr. Thrilling to have him here in the studio. Welcome, Bobby.
Thank you very much.
Now, your experience, this is what we hear. We've known each other almost 20 years. And your father is very famous, Bobby Bare. So you grew up in the business.
I refer to him as that old guy who's been sleeping with my mother.
Okay. Hell of a guy, though. I've gotten to bass fish with him, chew skull. Love the dude.
Yes.
So you come by this profession, you know, honestly, your dad did it, you've grown up in it, but you were nominated for a Grammy when you were 6 years old.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Shel Silverstein sang a song called Daddy What If on the Johnny Cash show. And then while he was going into the studio with Dad to do a whole album in '73, and had the idea of doing this song as a duet about fatherhood and a son asking questions. So I always say it's like my dad was an astronaut, and one day he turned to me and said, "You want to go to the moon?" You know, because, I mean, it's an awesome gig. You know,
You're so cute with the blonde curls. You guys have video of it and everything. So then the album comes out and you get nominated as a 6-year-old for a Grammy. Did you go to the Grammys?
No.
Yeah.
I remember watching the Grammys, sitting in my grandparents' house next to my uncle, who was our accountant, and he gave me a really big kiss. I remember that.
Okay, well, so that was a good sign. Let's talk about Shel Silverstein, because I know he's had a big influence on you. You knew him personally. And the way that he wrote has actually influenced your songwriting. And then you've ended up doing a project, Twistable Turntable Man.
Twistable Turnable Man.
Okay, it says turntable on my notes.
They're lying to you. It's Twistable Turnable Man, which is a Shel Silverstein poem.
That's right, but you did a whole album.
Yeah, we did a whole album of nothing but Shel Silverstein songs with Chris Christopherson, Andrew Bird, Dr. Dog, My Morning Jacket, Lucinda Williams, John Prine, Todd Snyder, Ray Price, and Sarah Jarosz, and I'm forgetting people.
Did Cheryl do one?
No.
Okay, that's an amazing line.
I tell you what's good about Sheryl Crow's people. They got back to me immediately.
Not nice.
And said no. Verse is like, you know, verse
the
is
LA
limbo.
style. Yeah.
Oh, and Joey Santiago. I got to fly to Chicago and be the producer for a session that was Joey Santiago and Frank Black, and I'm in a Pixies cover band sometimes on the side, so I was geeking out, and I was very happy to get to produce that.
How has the writing style of Shel Silverstein influenced your style?
He critiqued every song I wrote.
He did.
Up until he died, so the first 2 albums, or album and a half. And so when I was first writing songs, I knew that he was going to be reading them. So I had to not suck. And I knew enough. I was a big enough fan to know what the parameters were.
Yeah,
so,
that's good. You got to bring your A game when Shel's proofreading and checking out your stuff.
Yeah.
But how about the actual syncopation and the style of your rhyming patterns and stuff like that?
I take a Shel Silverstein poem that I have memorized. I'll play chords, and I cannot go to school today, said little piggy. And McKay, I got the measles, I got the mumps, a gash, a rash, the purple bumps. So I'll sing a song with that poem. Then I'll go back and rewrite the poem. And it clicks, it fits right back into the song with really great, with perfect phrasing.
Amazing, amazing trick. I've actually played a Christmas game with Shel Silverstein's poems where you have to go around with the guitar and practice.
Yes, anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it.
You've toured with so many iconic bands. I mean, a short list is Dr. Dog, The Walkmen, The Decemberists, Black Crowes, Bob Dylan, Aerosmith, My Morning Jacket, and of course you're good buddies with the Drive-By Truckers. What's it like going out in that opening capacity, and any standout memories from on the road of being with those guys?
But the Dylan thing, the Dylan and the week, I did I guess a couple weeks of Dylan in a month with Aerosmith. And it sounds awesome to say, oh yeah, I was out with Dylan and Aerosmith. But what it was is we were playing the concession area at all the amphitheaters across America.
Oh yeah.
So like a really great gig was if the urinal line went in front of the stage. You're on the exact same level as like a hot dog vendor. But when the urinal line went into the stage, it's like, man, we're gonna sell some
You're hoping
CDs.
they're serving beer, lots of beer.
Well, yeah,
there's
people waiting,
Yeah.
And we would play in between sets when people, it's kind of like if it was a movie theater, we would be sitting next to the popcorn.
Did you get to hang out with those bands and learn some stuff from them? Were they nice to you?
I knew better than to try to meet
Go knock
Dylan.
on Bob Dylan's. Yeah, I know about that.
I knew that was, and I guess, I mean, for Aerosmith, we just went to the meet and greets. Just said, "Hey, man, you're cool."
Yeah, we're over by the urinals in case you want to come check us out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you have how many albums have you put out?
6. I think 6.5. I did an EP or 2.
And for those of you out there who haven't ever listened to Bobby Bare Jr., you're such an inventive, wonderful songwriter and singer, and of course performer. But you have a lot of material. One of my favorite songs from back in the day is, and I say this a lot, it's just so catchy, "You Blew Me Off, It Turned Me On."
Yeah.
And there's a lot of humor and a lot of stuff going on in your music. Is it
That's
hard
the
to
saddest song I think I've ever written.
Really? But it's so upbeat. Blew me off, turn me on.
Yeah, but when you realize that, like, the only thing that's really getting you interested in this relationship is when the person is ignoring you. It's like, God, this is a horrible relationship.
I think a lot of relationships are that. I see people fall into that dynamic. Treat them crappy, keep them happy.
Yeah.
Well, luckily you've grown out of that.
Treat them crappy, keep them happy. Treat them crappy, keep them happy.
But so you have all that material, and every time I see you, and I've gotten to open up for you before. I think last time was in New Jersey. What's the name of that place, Av? Where we were?
Oh, Brown.
Maxwell's.
No,
Maxwell's.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I see you, got a different lineup. There's, you have great different backup vocals.
Well, here's
and
the
stuff.
thing. You can have a really average band that plays every single gig with you, or you can, and they're just average players, or you can have the best players who ever lived, but they have to interchange. They're constantly. So I have about 40 of the greatest players who ever lived who can jump up on stage. I mean, just last night when we were playing, I'm looking in the audience, it's like, "Hey, you want to play bass?
Yeah,
you know the background vocals of this song. Get on stage." And it,
what a great feeling, though.
But that's Nashville. That's what I love about Nashville or Austin, Texas, is there's just such a depth to the talent pool.
It's really fun. But I usually see you not in Nashville. Last time I saw you, I think, was in Portland, Oregon.
Yes.
And so you have a network of people that goes all over the place. But
actually, yeah, I do. Well, I do a third of everything in Portland and Seattle, and I have a couple of players up there that know all the songs. So, that works out really well.
How does set lists work for you?
I just email them and say this is
the morning of. Like, how do you go through?
Oh no, weeks out. I let them know what they need to be rehearsing.
Right.
And then we'll rehearse when I get there for a day or so.
Right. Last time I saw Bobby Bare Jr. in Portland, he was being followed by a full-on film crew. Extremely exciting. You're the only musician that I know personally who's had a full-length documentary made about themselves. They followed you for, what, a year?
I don't know if I recommend it for everyone.
I don't know. I cannot wait to see this movie. You said when your family members and other people cried when they saw it because it's so raw.
Because it's like, wow, this is really his life, It's called Don't Follow Me, I'm Lost. I tried to tell them, I tried everything I could to get them to call the movie World's Greatest Lover, but they didn't go for that. So they
Well,
came
they've
out-
obviously not slept with you yet.
Right.
That's the only problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, we've got these lights. We can, we can show that. But there's a song I wrote called "Don't Follow Me, I'm Lost."
It's
so they
great.
ran with that.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we cannot wait to see it, and we want to take a short look at the trailer because we have it. So let's take a look at "Don't Follow Me, I'm Lost," the Bobby Bear Jr. story.
You're about to have your brains melted.
My dad is better than Santa Claus.
All right. I love you. It's not okay to just fucking crucify me. You're coming after me with this.
Don't follow me. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. I am lost.
Wow. All right. Now I'm doubly hooked. I'm definitely going to see it. Tell us about the Bobby
you
Bear
can't
Jr.
go see it. It's only showing at film festivals.
It is? So
Yes.
which festivals is it going to be in?
It already was in the Nashville Film Festival, Chicago something, and it's going to be in Memphis this weekend, and then Barcelona, Germany, and the UK.
Unbelievable.
It's not my film. I'm in it, but the people who made the film are going to be, they're going to be in Barcelona. And
Now,
I'm going to go to Memphis this weekend.
since hindsight is 2020, knowing what you know now, the film is done, would you do it again?
Yeah,
Okay. So there parts of it were fun.
Yeah.
It's there
yeah.
for your 3 children.
They're in it.
But I think what's really I'm expecting to see in this film, and which I think is important for all musicians to see, I know how hard you work, and I know what you've given up and sacrificed to follow this dream and stay after it as long as you have. And it ain't all pretty, is it?
Oh, no.
It's hard.
I told the filmmakers on the front end he wanted to follow us around the country, and I said, it's 80% truck driver. 80% of everything you do is exactly, if you got to go to the bathroom, most likely you're going to be sitting in a toilet stall next to a truck driver. You're going to be living the exact same life, and except for the 3 or 4 hours you're at the smelliest, dirtiest club in every town in America that is most likely in one of the most dangerous parts of town. And that's kind of,
But truck drivers don't have groupies, and truck drivers don't get to play in front of an audience jumping up and down on songs that you wrote.
Because truck drivers just don't have the desperate need for attention that you and I do.
Sorry.
That's
I'm just
mostly
kidding. Hanging on my notes.
the thing that separates us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's tough.
So that's the deal.
Well, tell us about these famous house parties. Where'd you get the idea to do an acoustic in your random house, and how's it gone?
Will Oldham was doing them. And
Yeah.
I thought that
Does everybody know who Will
seems
Oldham
kinda
is?
cool.
Yeah, he's a guy from Louisville. He's like an indie hero god actor, right? It's got a band called Bonnie Prince Billy. And anyway, if you haven't heard of Will Oldham, he was in The New Yorker. I mean, people who know about him are obsessed with him. So are you
Johnny
friends
Cash
with him?
recorded one of his songs.
He did?
Yeah.
So you know Will?
I know Will. I sing on one of his records. He sang on one of mine. But either way, I heard that he was doing these, and it sounded interesting. And for whatever talent thing I have is very applicable in people's living rooms, doing that thing, and it's a lot of fun. But it's kind of like, and I usually have Carrie Katsianis, my background singer, with me, and like I'll do 30 minutes, she'll do 30 minutes, and we'll move around the house, and we'll go upstairs and downstairs, and
Really?
it's really
Just bring the whole place alive.
and then just wander. We'll
What
just
do people
wander
love
throughout
about
the, or if somebody if somebody wants to hear, if somebody just yelps out a request, I go, okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're getting it on. This is happening.
You asked
You
for
want
it?
this song? Yeah, it's going.
You're getting it now.
Yeah, exactly.
This.
And it freaks people out.
They're not going to
And
get
you
that at a
can-
normal show.
Right.
That's
and
pretty darn
we do it
cool.
without a PA, and you can really, really mess with people in a different way when you don't have a PA. You can really affect them differently.
Engage.
It's so intimate, it's uncomfortable for them and for me, which makes it really cool. But you can only do it for 30 to 100 people at a time.
Yeah.
And so it does nothing to move your career forward, really, because a manager friend of mine came to see it. It's like, you guys are amazing. You guys are great. I have no idea what to do with this, But
It can be profitable, though.
it's tremendously profitable because there's no PA company, there's no booking agent, there's no promoter. Everybody's cut out. There's no bar sales. It's BYOB. No kids, no pets. It has to be in a quiet area and have parking. I have the whole list of things that it has
Your
to
requirements for what a good
be.
house
Of what?
party.
Yeah, it's a formula, and it has to be. And it's mostly people over 30-something with kids don't want to go to bars.
Yeah.
They're really happy to go to a stranger's house. And
I would prefer it. I
Yeah.
mean, because of that intimate thing, because what happens there that night's never going to happen. Not that your nights on the road are all the same, but that I think that people yearn for that in this digital age, for that intimacy. And not a lot of people can pull that off. And you do have the skill set for that, because you have to be in
it's
the
not for
moment.
everybody. Well,
No.
in the moment, but the big thing is you have to be a people person, because you're completely accessible.
Yeah, you are a people
And,
person.
Yeah, and I'm a people person. So
Big
that,
time, from
that
way
works
back.
out. Yeah.
Since you were 6.
And if you're not a people person,
Yeah.
it's not fun.
Don't do the house party thing.
It's not fun because
Yeah. Well, what's
very
coming up for you
accessible.
that you're excited about?
I'm going to take a nap after this.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm excited about that. I'm trying to think. Oh, I did a Indiegogo fundraising thing and got enough money to almost finish a record.
Awesome.
So
A brand new one.
I think I've got all the band songs recorded. And my buddy Vance Powell is recording this last set of songs, and my buddy Mark Nevers recorded the first set of songs. So I just got to get that mixed and record a couple more songs and find somebody to put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe coming to a futon near you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear you sing a song. I've noticed you have your guitar.
Yes.
Are you prepared to play for us
Sure.
today? What are you going to sing for us today?
I'm going to sing a song about Nashville
Okay.
called Visit Me in Music City.